Hey everybody, this is Glidercat and it's time to play. We are back on Angel Mountain. Man, did I get some stuff done between episodes. I did a lot of playing in the sand and the water, but I wasn't at the beach. I was hauling things from the sand pit and taking water from our water trigger over here and filling up the greenhouse and our orchard. Let's take a look and see just what I got done. If we look at our supplies here, we go down to sand. Look at that. Over 2.5 million liters of sand I hauled. One truckload at a time, one scoop at a time. Again, we're trying to get to 10 million liters of all these things. So I made a dent there. What is that? A quarter of the way. Even after we fill this with 10 million, we have millions more sand to scoop up to use for glass and other things. So far, only glass, though. We'll see what else we end up using sand for. And then as far as the greenhouses go, let's check productions and just see where things are at. Actually, let's go through, take it from the top here. Sawmill, we want to get more wood, so we'll do some forestry this episode probably. Carpentry mill needs planks. Yeah, we have an issue with planks. We'll talk about that in a minute. Just can't seem to get enough of those. Produce, the greenhouse, check out the water supply here, 1.7 million almost. So I brought a lot of tankers over, and I think our tanker only holds like 33,000 liters. So that's a lot of trips, a whole lot of trips. But I've got that filled up quite a bit. Compost is looking good at almost 600,000, and the herbicide is just very slowly being used, which is good because we're paying for that right now. We probably will wait on doing anything with produce. Let's let this accumulate a bit. There's things we can do with these later too, rather than just sell them. So we'll let the greenhouse go for a bit. Mammoth mill, or we might do a little bit of ore hauling today just to top this off. Sand, again, looks awesome because I've been working a lot on sand. Wood chips, same thing with the planks. Shortage on wood chips. We sold, well, we have drill pipe we could sell. Steel we could take over to the Old Man's Mill, but it's not urgent. We'll probably just let that ride this episode. And then our new orchard is starting to produce, but we'll let this run too. And you can see the water here also, like 1.7 million. So that's a whole lot of trips off camera of delivering water, but that should buy us some time. No urgencies over here. Same thing with the herbicide, looks good. And compost looks good as well. Let's pay off a little bit of debt, a tiny bit. We'll do 20,000 more, so we'll be to 7.1 million. Boom, every little bit helps. We're still sitting at almost 600,000. Let's get animals too. I think we're still hooked up to our animal trailer. Yeah, let's head over and get 3 loads of little baby cows. And while we're doing that, towards the end of last episode, I'm going to bring up the little map here in a second. Let me get to where we're not so distracted. I want to get down this ramp as we head over to the animal dealer. We'll make 3 trips, and I think we get 6 cows per trip, something like that. Be like 18. Eventually, we'll get the bigger trailer. I'm just kind of playing it a little cheap here so we can save a little bit of cash here and there where we can. Where it's not too painful to do so. There's the apiaries. I'm still thinking about getting those once our clover is ready to harvest. So yeah, let me bring up the little map here. We're talking about which fields to get next, and 45, kind of over on the right side of the screen, right side of the map rather. That's the one with the sugar beets. Definitely interested in that. Somewhere around like 1.2 million. And then we talked about field 27 has cotton on it, and that's kind of difficult to, that's near the Mammoth Mill, kind of over in the left center of the map. So 27, we'll probably hold off on that, but I was thinking it would be ideal for poplar and wood chips, and that would solve our planks problem and our wood chips problem over at the Mammoth Mill, because we could probably produce a ton of wood chips out of there if we planted poplar. But the other thing we looked at last episode, kind of towards the end, was field 25, which is just below our wheat field. That has soybeans on it. It has a little bit of extra land to the south of it, a little bit between the field and the river where we could, if we wanted to, could start grapevines or maybe some olive vines. But we could harvest the soybeans off of that. And then once we get that field cleared, we could make that our grain field. Plant wheat or barley or something that's going to give us straw so we can keep the composter going. And then turn field 28, which is right above it. It's a little closer to Mammoth Mill. We could turn that one into our poplar field. And then we wouldn't have to buy 27, at least not for a good long time. And that would solve our wood chip issue. It would make sure we're still getting a steady supply of straw coming in. So I'm thinking about that. It's field 25, and I think that is, let's just look at it real quick. I think that one is reasonably priced. Looking at this guy here. Go to farmland. This is 1.366. Again, we get a little bit of land here where if we wanted to, we could clear out the trees here and then possibly start on grapes or something. We'll see how long these rows actually would look like if we went top to bottom and created our own vineyard or something. But yeah, that's something to think about. And 70, let's see real quick. Let's look at the maturity on that. So it's got a couple cycles left to go. So does the sugar beets here at 45. We probably have to get one or the other. I don't know that we can get both before those crops mature and then they turn over again. We just don't have the cash. Oh, by the way, I fixed one of the trains. You can rent the train for $10 an hour on this map. So this train at the bottom here, this one was stuck over at Mammoth Mill, so I just kind of got it moving again. That's back in action. And then let's look at 44 real quick. That one's about to mature. What does that have on it? Cotton, yeah, forget it. Forget it. I'm just not ready to get into cotton. I mean, we could, but man, I guess we could turn cotton into cloth. It's just the equipment is $500,000. Let's see what that field costs. If we wanted to go bold and get into cotton, we could spend $1.5 million over here plus $500,000 in equipment. So $2 million to do that. Or we could buy this field over here. 69. That one costs $1.1 million. I just don't see cotton as something that's urgent. And once I spend 500 grand, I'm going to want to keep running cotton. I'm going to want to keep that machine fairly busy, not just parked. Kind of same thing with the sugar beets. If we get sugar beets, we'll probably keep that field on sugar beets for a good long time. The other thing while we're talking about fields, we have this field 101 near us, right? This guy right here. This land's not terribly cheap, but it's cheaper than all the others. 480,000 or 481,000. That has potatoes on it. And I keep getting intrigued by this field. What to do, what we could do with it. We could put a couple apiaries or beehives and just run potatoes forever on this thing. Use it initially, maybe use it a little bit for pig food, but also just use it for our 10 million liter objective. Just start saving things off with it. There are a couple productions, I think, that make use of potatoes. There might be potato chips on the map here somewhere. I don't know that it would make us a lot of money. The other thing I was thinking of doing was using this field for like chaff, because we need to get 10 million liters of chaff. And this is a way we could just kind of always have this field doing it. Bring over a forage harvester or something and just do chaff over and over again. And we could even make silage out of that chaff if we wanted to. The only thing is, I don't think that's going to bring in money. You know, if we do that, it would work for the 10 million liter objective stuff, but we really need money so we can buy fields. So we'll see. Right now, I'm kind of compelled to maybe try and get 25. And that's not super expensive. 1.4 million. And then doing what I suggested, maybe once this wheat comes up, do poplar here. That would solve our wood chips and our boards and planks and all that. Planks are going to be important for furniture we can sell. That's made out of planks. And then a lot of our productions are going to require pallets, and pallets are made for planks. So we don't get good plank production. I think that's going to hold us back. And making this a dedicated field for poplar would give us a steady supply of wood chips, I think. And then we could turn 25 into a grain field that's getting us our straw, and it's still not too far to haul all that straw up to the main farm, you know, rather than having straw way out here. So anyway, those are some thoughts. Let's get our cows and quit babbling here. We're going to go with our little baby Angus, I think is what we had so far, right? Select these guys. We'll take 6 at a time. Super cheap, $1,800. Let's do it. We'll do 3 loads of these. Just why I'm doing the little ones is just, again, to pinch pennies a bit. It's going to allow us to potentially, you know, build up a herd. Albeit slowly, we'll be doing it kind of cheaply. And then hopefully that'll slightly accelerate our ability to get more fields and equipment by doing it this way. I don't know. Maybe smarter to get the mature ones and have them kicking out baby cows and, you know, if we got dairy, milk and stuff. But I don't know. I'm just trying to take the cheap approach to get us started. They will mature. We don't have TMR for dairy cows now anyway. But we do have hay for these guys. And they're starting to produce manure. That manure is going to actually be pretty valuable to us in the greenhouses. Super tempted to buy more greenhouses right now. Or an orchard. But I'm going to try as hard as I can to hold off until we buy at least 1 more field. 2 fields is just not enough. Not enough. Not enough going on. We could buy more mines to raise money. There is, if we buy another orchard, there's 2 orchards on the map. The other orchard produces nuts. And there's a production building called the Nut House that I think just requires like coal for fuel maybe, which we have. And nuts and maybe cardboard boxes or something else that we have. And we could sell mixed nuts. And those are decent profit. So that's tempting. That's kind of tempting too. But again, if we don't start accumulating fields, we're going to be, you know, hurting for our 10 million liter objective on everything. We need those base crops going. We can refine those into other products. Sorry for the poor driving here. Now we got to struggle up the hill. New pickup truck is also on the shopping list, but I'm just kind of holding off. We can at least get by with this setup. Our cows have produced a tiny bit of slurry and a tiny bit of manure, even as little baby calves, so I'm kind of happy about that. It doesn't add up to a whole lot just yet. But it's something. Oops, I'm looking for this guy to tell me when I can open up the animal dialogue. Isn't it over here? I thought it was. Is it back further? Been a while since I dropped him off. Oh, we gotta go over that way. Yeah, there we go. Let's go for immersion here. I'm gonna back in a little bit. Lower the trailer down. There's our cows in there. They don't look like little calves. They look big to me. All right, let's unload these guys. Boom. Awesome. 2 more trips. No more babbling here. Let me... Whoa! Look at that. I have no idea. I guess during the save, it let the vehicle keep moving or something. All right, what I want to do is show you real quick what I was thinking about for our dairy farm. Right where that repair trailer is, that I think we'll do another farm. It's not going to be real soon, but we could do another cow barn. We'll do the same one. It's only 80 grand. So it's a little it's a little cheaty when you compare it to the other costs of these ones right next to it, and it holds 2,000. But it does look the same as the one we've have. I'm thinking somewhere right over here. We won't do them so they're just totally mirror image and, you know, cookie cutter looking. But maybe, you know, somewhere on this little island of grass, maybe we'll do our dairy cows. That would make a whole lot of sense. And they can probably share the same manure bunker there. So that's another thing that's kind of been thinking about. Get to eventually. It's not that much money, but we can get the we could do it now and add dairy cows and see a little bit of milk come trickling in, but we don't really have the ability to make TMR just yet. Our silage is still fermenting. I'd like to have money for a TMR mixer. Looks like I got to close up our animal trailer here. So we'll hold off on the dairy cows. The milk is going to come in handy. I think on this map, it's actually needed for the bread. The bread has like 14 ingredients on this map for some reason. I think in the base game it's just like flour and water, or just flour, which would be nice. But I'm gonna try and stick with like with whatever's the more difficult recipe, either the mod, what this map wants, or the base game. So we'll hold out till we get all the ingredients for the bread that the modded bakery wants. And that may pay off later, because I think the bakery will probably have higher production rate than the base game does. But we'll see. It's what you can see. Oh, let me put the time back on single time. I always put it at half speed when I'm doing hauling the ore and all that stuff. But you can see, if you note from last episode, I think it was probably around 12 o'clock when I ended the last episode. And it's now 2:46. So that's basically over 5 hours of real life time that I probably spent hauling sand and delivering water to the greenhouse and the orchard. But it's a big map, and the 10 million liter challenge is a huge challenge. But I'm going to try and chip away at it. We'll see if we can get it done. I think it's possible. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's possible. All right, more, what are those? Not you. I want these guys for now. Select, buy, 1,800. Cannot beat the price. These are $300 each. I think the cows that we have, we'll take a look. I think they're worth like $100, right? Once you buy them, they're not worth as much. Just sell them right back. I got the truck. I got the pedal to the metal here. This truck just takes a while to get going with this load for some reason. So yeah, after this, I think we'll do a bit of forestry over at field 21, which is the field way far out. Got the tree harvester located where there's a bunch of trees, kind of on one end of the field, the opposite end of where the silo is, our field silo. And then we'll do some trees, try and fill up the sawmill with trees. I think we need like 100,000 more liters. We'll do at least a few loads of trees. And then I wouldn't mind moving our wheel loader, which is sitting at the sand pit. Maybe move that over to the iron mine and add some iron to the mammoth mill. Keep that production going. We could take a look at if there's anything for us to sell. We saw there might be some drill pipe or something. Maybe we'll make a run or two. Do that if there's time. We take a look at our silage bunker too and just see how that's progressing. We have one more trip of cows after this. Oh, I think I mentioned putting the drying mill behind our orchard that we own. We don't own that land yet, so I was mistaken. And that land's not cheap. So we'll hold off on building the drying mill for a little bit. We're going to do it once we have enough bananas and cherries where it makes sense for us to turn those into dried cherries and banana chips so we can make some money off of that. But buying land is not going to be cheap for that, actually. We'll check the silage progress on the way back and the end of this next trip. But yeah, let me know your suggestions on fields and crops you think we should go after next. Not entirely sure what the best path is. I've been looking at the all the different productions, right? So there's some that are built into the map, and there's a whole bunch we're going to be placing ourselves. Trying to find the ones that have the least prerequisites or the least number of ingredients where we can actually turn a profit on some of our goods. I think the dried fruit's going to be a winner for us. In fact, when we do get manure, we'll probably load it into that orchard that's producing those cherries and bananas and get double production. I think that's going to be a moneymaker for us. We're right now making money off the glass jars pretty good. That's probably our best product right now. Then we've got the wheelchairs and walkers we're making a little money off of. We sold a bunch of produce. I don't even know if that was worth the time. Selling that raw produce that we did. We made some money off of it. We do sell that again. We'll wait till we get full truckloads. Those products don't seem to stack very well on the flatbed trailer. But yeah, the other one was nuts. I mentioned that one doesn't take much. It's kind of like the dried fruit. That might be something we get into. If we buy a sugar beet field, we'll obviously be making sugar. That's another ingredient for the bread and the cakes. We have strawberries for the cakes. We're already growing those. We haven't sold any of those. So man, but yeah, there's a whole lot of products on this map that require people, actually. And you raise people. You raise people. Or you hire people from an apartment building and you have to supply that apartment building like hemp and carrots and I don't know, like four or five different ingredients before you can get people. And they're a requirement for a lot of the different production buildings. So that's another one that's like, man, it takes a bunch of money before we can even dip our toe into that business. We want these guys. There is stone processing where if we bought, I think if we bought, is it a rock mine? Either a stone mine or a rock mine. And then you can run that through a stone processing facility, or you can run it through a stone washing facility. We'd have to place those down. And that spits out a bunch of byproducts, some of which are worth some money. So we could do that. It's just a bunch more mining. I'm kind of holding off on that because we already have iron and coal and sand that we're digging around with. I'd like to get more fields going before we're just so overloaded on mining. Forestry, I'm a little bummed that our logs didn't fetch more at the heating plant. But I do have the economic difficulty setting to hard, so that could be part of the issue there. We may still sell some timber. We'll see. It's kind of a manual process to cut that down. It takes time. But it is a lot more profitable than selling, say, a big truckload full of iron ore. That ore you can sell a whole truckload full, and it's like $7 for every 1,000 liters. You'll get like a few $100s for shoveling a whole load of iron ore. That is definitely not worth raising money that way. That's why I'm just taking all that sand and iron ore and coal ore, all the extra, and just working it towards our 10 million liter objective for all those. Because those are not worth selling. Worth processing, which we're doing, but not worth selling directly at all. Trees are right on the borderline of whether they're worth doing or not selling. Better to turn them into planks and furniture and pallets and barrels and all that stuff. All right, last batch of cows. Next episode, we'll fetch sheep again, probably. Just keep alternating until we get our wheat, and then we can add chicken to the mix. All right, off you fellas go. And then we'll move this trailer off to the side somewhere and get it ready for next episode. Like I said, we'll grab sheep next episode. Let's take a quick look at the animals. Oh, so our animals are starting to get worth a little bit more money here. $191 for our first batch, $92 for the second batch that we just brought over. We paid $300 each, right? So we're not profitable on these yet. They are going to produce manure for us. These guys produced 144 slurry. I guess it doesn't show the manure, but we do have some in the bunker. These guys... Okay, this is the slurry for everybody, I guess. So 144 liters, not a ton. Sheep worth $88. I'm not sure what we're paying for those a piece. And then these must be our older ones. They're worth $100 now. 100% productivity. Not sure when they start spitting out the wool. But we'll keep them going. The beef, I guess, we probably won't make money off of these for a good long time. We'll make money indirectly by using their manure to increase the production in our greenhouses and our orchards. Eventually, we can do a couple things with these. We can sell them directly for profit, or we can run them through a slaughterhouse, and there's a whole bunch of products that spin off of that. There's leather, you can make saddles, there's sausages, there's steak, there's all kinds of things that we'll be processing these into. So we'll probably grow the herd quite a bit before we do much of any of that. All right, that's it. Let's take a look at our silage bunker, see how that's doing. That's just going to be some work for us. In fact, I can close this door probably. Let's see where this is at. It's probably got a ways to go, right? 22%, not bad. And, oh, it'd be cool if it showed the liters underneath what it was. That's like, I think it was like 500,000 liters. So that'll be good. We have hay, we have straw. Maybe once this is ready, we can start at least thinking about doing our dairy cows. And maybe springing for a TMR mixer. I'd love to get the motorized one. All right, what's next? Let's do some forestry. Yeah, let's get to it. We're way out here on field 28. Let's see, or 21, sorry, 21. Let's get to cutting some trees. We want to kind of fill the sawmill up. So let's get to it. All right, that seems like about half of the trees that we have access to. You can see out to the left, there's a little path running through. I don't think we can access the trees on the other half of that path, and we're not quite halfway across the field. Let's go fetch our semi and get the right trailer. Where are you? Here you are. Unhook from that. Let's go down and get the logging trailer. I'm not sure where I left it. I'm guessing it's by the sawmill. But we'll see. We'll see how much this harvest does as far as filling up the sawmill. There's more logs per tree, right? Initially, we were only getting 2 logs per tree by the fields. This one's giving us 3 logs per tree, but there seems to be less trees than I remembered. Maybe that's just because we only get half of them, half of the ones we're seeing, since some belong to another piece of property that we don't own just yet. Guessing our logging trailer's over here. I think I might see it. You can see there's all the sand I've been mining. I've mined a ton of sand. I don't know if it looks like it or not, but man, over 2 million liters or 2.5 million liters between episodes. Shoveling like crazy. This semi truck has been through maintenance repairs a couple times just between episodes. So there is a cost. And look at all the hours on this truck already. 50 hours already on this truck. But we're putting it to good use. It's good to see. I also, between episodes, I spent a lot of time on our little forklift over there on the right. Getting a little better at doing that third person. I think that's a little easier to watch. Or enjoyable to watch as a viewer. First person is easier to load the pallets, at least for me. But I'm starting to get better at doing that third person. Here's our mower over there on the left. I think we may take that way back out to the field here. I don't know if I'll get might get a trailer for it, or we might just drive it. But we need to take up these stumps. Especially if we're going to do course play to cut this grass in the future. It'd be good to have those stumps out of the way, and it's going to be a little bit hard to see. Even though the grass is mostly cut over there, there's still a lot of patches where there could be stumps hiding. They are hard to pick out. Yeah, the truck is maintained. I don't know that we've ever taken this timber trailer through to get it repaired. And I don't know the degree to which the repairs even matter on this equipment. I'm doing it just for kind of almost role play reasons. We could probably get away without maintaining the truck. I don't know that it would break down. This field silo has been pretty much emptied out. I think there might be less than a load of grass in there. And all of the oats and stuff have been... They were in the old silo that we were using that we had problems with. All those oats have been moved into our main farm silo. This is our clover field. I think it's still got at least a couple stages left. But we should be done with it. Don't think we're going to need to weed it since we plowed it. That's where our property line ends, apparently, because I can't cut those trees. If we were desperate, I think I can cut them by hand with our little chainsaw, because I do have the lumberjack mod installed, and I believe that lets you cut trees anywhere. And you can see those trees are not as tall as the ones we've been cutting, so those only give 2 logs. But yeah, let's see what we get. All right, let's see. It looks like we might be loaded up with wood. If we look at the bottom right, it's showing 200 and just about 250,000 liters. That's all we can do. Let's take the rest of this to the heating plant. How much is that? That's almost a full load. And now if this got us $18,000, I would be a little more enthusiastic about cutting down these trees and just sending them straight to the heating plant here. But I think this is going to get us about $7,000. Let's see what we get. Oh man, 5,400. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. It's just too much time to cut these down for that low of a price. When we send them through the sawmill, you know, we're going to get a bunch of different products, and very beginning of a production chain that's going to net us a lot more money per tree. Doing it through the heating plant just does not seem worth it. Even in a pinch, I think I'd rather take a loan than run 4 trailerfuls of trees over here just to get like $20,000. I think what I want to do is, yeah, tear this thing up with my chainsaw. I think what I want to do is actually sell this. I don't think the heating plant's going to do what I was hoping it would do for us. Boy, I was optimistic too that that would be a good way for us to raise a bunch of cash and pay for some fields. But man, at 5,000 a load, or say it was even 7,000 if we had the other tree in there or something, maybe we'd get to 7,000. That's just not enough. Even with these trees nearby, I'd rather save these and just process them into other products. The other thing we might want to do, I haven't decided yet, we can do log storages, and we may want to save up 10 million liters of logs to save them up. The only log storages I've found, though, only hold 1 million liters, I think. Let me take a look here. We're going to have to wait for the save, but let me take a look. Kind of want to get that saving because it's been a while. Let's go into construction. It might be in silos. Let's see. I'm not sure where this is. Right there. Wood store. It's only $50,000. And we can store 1 million liters per. We looked at this not that long ago. It looks kind of cool. So maybe I'll do, 10 of these or something. We could even do them. Not going to do it now. We don't need to spend this money right now. Although we could buy one. That would allow us to clear off the rest of those trees on the field. We'll wait. I'm going to try not to do it. But, yeah, we might want to use these just for the 10 million liter challenge. Boom. We could put a whole row of them along here. Get rid of this heating plant. We could even put some over here, too, once we clear out these trees. Might not look bad. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll do it half for aesthetic and half for the 10 million liter challenge. Not sure what looks better. That might look better, actually, from the road. Seeing all these logs stacked up. I did want to plant some other trees here along where this grass is. Some kind of pines. Maybe not these spindly ones. But something that's more pine. These don't seem to belong right next to a pine forest to me, but yeah, I think we're going to sell the heat plant. I'll leave it there till we need some cash. We're not going to get much for it. Let's see what we would get if I demolish this. Till 20,000. What a bummer. Yeah, we did not get our money's worth out of that. But I'll leave it for now. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't think so. What we can do in the meantime, a couple things we could do. We could go grind stumps, or we could go mine some iron ore. I think what I'm going to do, is mine some iron ore. Since I'm driving around with this thing, I'm going to park it kind of on the way back out to field 21. In fact, we'll leave it maybe right here. Need to go get our trailer for hauling ore. And I think we'll bring some iron ore over to Mammoth Mill and get that topped off. And then after a little while, we can go collect the rest of those trees and harvest the rest of the trees off of field 21. We also need to get all the stumps. We're going to need to move our wheel loader up to the iron mine too. Let's first go grab the let's grab the trailer. It's up near the main farm. Yeah, it's a bummer on that heating plant. I was hoping we'd find something. And I've done this on other maps, used Forestry as a quick way to just brute force your way into getting a lot of cash without having to do contracts or taking out more loans, which we've already done. We've already taken out our share of loans. But yeah, I just don't think it's worth it on a map like this. I'd rather spend my time hauling that ore to meet our 10 million liter objective, or saving logs for the 10 million liter objective. We got kind of some unique goals, unique challenging goals in this playthrough. Selling a truckload of logs for $6,000 or $7,000 doesn't help us too much on any of those goals. It'd be cool if this rain helped to wash off our trailer. Everything's really dirty. Although we do have a power washer over by the iron mine, which is where I'm headed. This guy's empty. Like I said, we've got a lot of hours on our truck already. 51 hours. We'll see how long we keep it. I need to read up on how the maintenance works. Because this playthrough, we're going to do a lot of hauling. I mentioned earlier I was thinking about getting a road train where we could get 2 trailers in tandem, pulled from the same truck. I can see using that not so much for mining ore, but for bringing in the crops from the field over to the main farm. That would save me a little bit of time. This guy holds quite a bit, 50,000. And I think the road train mod that I saw in the mod hub only holds, it's less than 100. It's 80, somewhere between 80 and 90,000 liters. So it's not double this, but it's more than this. And it would save me quite a few hundred, if not 1,000 trips during this playthrough to bring grain in off the fields. I don't think I'm going to use automated drivers for that. We'll see. May change my mind on that. The automated drivers, I'm just thinking we may have to shut off the traffic, which would be kind of a bummer. And then I may have to stop the trains. You know, basically every time I play, rent the trains and stop them. There's a mod that would allow us to stop the trains and not have to pay every hour to have them not moving. I've mined a lot of this iron. It may not look like it, but we are actually back a little ways from where that deposit started. I guess I'll put the trailer on this side. Let's see, I want you not to go that way. For some reason, lately I've been having a hard time backing these things up the way I want them to go. That's close enough. Let's get the wheel loader. We'll just tab over to that. This guy also needs a wash. He was totally cleaned. I think we just power washed this guy last episode. But like I said, I've been doing a lot of sand mining. A lot. All right. Bucket is empty. This bucket is the one we need for the iron. Put on our little beacon. Maybe hang off on the side of the road till we get to the mine. This area where this sand is, I'm wondering if once we dig this out, if we're going to be like a little bit underwater. I don't know if you noticed, but when we're far away from this, it looks like a water texture. You can see kind of in the distance, right? And there's a waterfall there too. So it'd be interesting if we'll see how much sand we actually dig up. There's tons and tons of it there. But interesting if that is the lake. That's actually kind of pretty. I don't know that we'll ever get all of that sand dug up for this series. That's a lot. It's a lot. I don't think we'll need it even to get 10 million liters of everything. But we'll get a lot. We'll get a lot of that up. Wheel loader has quite a few hours on it. 13 and a half hours of just mining, shoveling stuff. I don't think I've been behind the wheel on this thing. It's kind of cool. We got good visibility from behind there. Windshield wiper going. No side. Oh, there is a side view mirror. We just can't see anything in it. Straight behind those consoles. That one looks like it works. And we have a rear view mirror. Yeah, every once in a while the mirrors just kind of black out. Not sure what that's about. Cool looking machine. We'll actually power wash this thing on the way in. Probably could have done that with the truck. We have prior to ownership here. Paint wear is a thing. I wish we could turn that off. Don't mind the dirt. I'm not crazy about paint wear. Can't get through a tank of fuel without having a bunch of paint wear. It's crazy. Seems crazy. Maybe that's a real life thing. Yeah, you can see all the paint wear here. Don't like it. Get this guy cleaned off. Nothing like washing your vehicles in the rain. Yeah, see their paint wear there. I guess it adds a degree of realism. I still don't like it. It'd be different if the painting was like $800. But it's like, feels like 20,000. It feels like 20,000 bucks. It's pretty darn expensive. For as often as you'd need to do it to keep your vehicles looking like new, it's a little crazy. All right, I'm going to do my normal routine here of taking 2 loads of iron over to Mammoth Mill and taking a 3rd load over to our farm and just working towards that 10 million liter inventory objective. We'll do a little bit of that. Here we go with the mining. All right, getting ready to store up this last load of iron ore. We'll put this one into our farm silo just to work towards our objective. And man, did we get a lot done. This game day and then just hauling this iron, I believe we grabbed it, excuse me, at least 9 loads of iron ore. So whatever that comes out to be, like close to a little more than 500,000 liters, I would think. Let's take a look and see where things stand. So if we jump to production, let's see where we're at with Mammoth Mill here on the iron. Yeah, check it out. Over 900,000 liters of ore now. So that is loaded. That'll go towards nails, drill pipe, steel, and I think that's it, I guess. And then we've got coal looks great, sand looks great. So this guy is fully stocked. Let's look at how much we have saved up towards our 10 million liter objectives. This is all going to get chewed through the grass, hay, and straw. We're going to use all of that, so that doesn't really count towards our 10 million liter objective just yet. But here's the ore. This is what we've been saving up. Sand is looking great, 2.6 million. Once we get to 10 million, we no longer need to make trips over here to drop off sand. And I did a lot of that. I think almost all of that between episodes. Here's iron ore, looking at 1.6 million. I may, if I have time between episodes, I'll get to do more of that. Bring more ore over. And then coal is the slowest. Coal is the slowest to mine because I have to use the slower bucket, this much smaller bucket. But not bad, almost 1 million there. So that's all looking pretty good. Not bad, not bad. I'll take it. Let's see. There's one last thing I want to do before we close out the day. We're starting to lose our daylight, and that actually may be a benefit. I want to see if we can find and grind the stumps. They are hard to spot when they're buried in the grass. Let's see if we can take a few of these out. And then we may need to get the rest. I might get the rest between episodes sometime, or we may spend a little time on camera doing it, but it may involve getting our Big M out here, cutting the grass again, and seeing where the stumps present themselves or reveal themselves. Oh, I didn't want to do that with the texture. Let's fix that texture. The only thing I don't like about the this mulcher, forestry mulcher. Okay, I think we need to paint this as grass texture. So landscaping, painting, forest ground. No, just grass. Boom. Oh, is it not letting me? Oh, look at that. Land is not owned by you, so they're not letting me do it. Isn't that bizarre? I was able to cut the tree. Okay, we're just going to have to be careful with that. We can patch that once we buy the neighboring land. Let's keep grinding stumps. I'll try to just dip the blade down where I see them. Sometimes they get chewed up automatically, just like that one did. And other times I need to dip the cutting thing down. Yeah, let's put on all the lights. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, see, I can just dip it down. I don't mess with the texture. I don't think I skipped any. But again, later on we'll run the mower over this. We'll find the stumps we missed and grind them. And I think that'll be useful if we set up like a course play course to cut this grass in the future. We'd probably wait until we owned another field and then just do one course for all the grass that sits between these two fields. We only own half of it now. That one can go. Yeah, so let's do some of these. think that's about it. Not bad. Not bad, not bad at all. I'm sure you guys saw 1 or 7 that I missed along the way. We'll pick them up in the future, I suppose. I may, in between episodes, or some point down the road, get the crone out, cut some more of this grass if we can around where we did the stumps, and see if any additional stumps reveal themselves. May wait till we're done doing the forestry at the far end of the field. That's not bad. I'm not sure if they're so hard to spot. I'm not sure if the nighttime like this gives us an edge or makes it more difficult or not. So I kept the headlights on to the front and the lights off on the back. So I had 2 chances to see them. 1 illuminated and 1 not illuminated. Like I said, I'm not sure which way they're actually easier to spot. But that's that. We'll turn this guy off, and I think we'll call it an episode here. Not bad. We got a lot done. And then in terms of the game day, September 3rd here, we got a ton done as well. So we are making progress. I'm going to leave it here for now. I just want to thank everybody for their suggestions and giving the videos a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed this series, and I will see you in the next episode.